All right, ladies and gentlemen, got your watch list coming in October 28, 2019, and two stocks are going to go crazy. I think tomorrow is going to be a big, exciting day. We got, again, another series of earnings. You're going to be seeing over 150 companies report almost every single day after tomorrow. So it's going to get exciting. I know I always like to say the weeks are going to get crazy, but there's two specific stocks I want to be looking at this week that are going to be happening tomorrow. But I'm sure this week we're going to get some bigger names just popping up left and right. So I got that for you guys. I got your keys for tomorrow. I want to highlight some of the plays, and I got a potential play for earnings to be looking at, and you guys will kind of see the update. I might be going big on one of them, but if anything, you can see we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. So come on, join us, watch it happen live, ask questions. It's the first link in the description. It's also posted there in the comments, so hopefully we see you there. It's going to be exciting, and make sure you like the video and subscribe. We post these watch lists every single night, but the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at, what you're playing, and get ready, man. We got a fun week ahead of us. So I'll get into the keys for tomorrow. There's a few things we need to talk about, and I think this week has the potential, again, to go crazy here. Even towards the end of it, we're going to be seeing, at the very least, some exciting stuff coming out the Fed and what that could potentially mean for the markets. But as far as the two stocks, it's going to be Google and what's going on with their earnings. I posted a video this weekend talking about standard deviations and how to get the predicted move, just as we've seen with Amazon and Tesla and a few of these companies so far for earnings. But Google's going to be the first one to watch. But then the next one that is also going to be very, very important is Microsoft. They had a big move after hours, and this was because they got awarded the JEDI contract from the government. This was a huge thing. The stock wasn't even moving prior because of how it was priced in. So this is a big deal. It could even affect Amazon. Amazon dropped a little bit after hours, about like $20. We'll pull that up here. You could see, but Amazon is going to be good to watch there for the continuation. And we'll talk about this more when we get into the plays, but those two plays, watch Microsoft and how that's going to play out. It's going to be good. I wish I could give you guys a potential play for it. That's why I come tomorrow live. But the problem is this was unexpected. It moved up a lot. So how this is going to affect the pricing and expectations, I think it's going to be very interesting. So we're going to get to that, but keep your eyes on those two. Those are going to be my two favorite ones tomorrow, as well as some of the companies reporting right off the bat. We're going to get to see like AT&T and even Spotify. We have that in our long-term portfolio. So see what happens with that. But let us get into the keys. We're going to have the rate cut this week, and the trade war is probably going to come back. And I don't mean this in the sense it's going to break down, but expect more news. I mean, you could even say some of that Turkey stuff is right around the corner as far as geopolitics is concerned, but at the very least, you're going to get earnings. As earnings start to report, the bigger names kind of get brushed out the way. We're going to start seeing how the markets start to respond, but watch out for the rate cut. End of this month, October 30th, October 31st, so Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to get an interest rate decision. So you guys have seen me bring up this tool before, and you've seen how the markets have even reacted, and it's kind of interesting with earnings. This could be a potential setup for an upset, or in general, what happens here at this meeting could change a lot, but it looks like we're going to get another rate cut after the Fed has said they're not going to cut rates. So watch out for that and what that means and what could happen from that. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes up for that. And yes, it's October 30th. So 2 days, 18 hours, 30 minutes. If you know, you know. But watch out for that. Tomorrow is going to be key for positioning when it comes down to all this. One, for earnings for the rest of the week, you're still going to get Apple, Facebook, all that. We're going to get Google aftermarket. But then even for some of the companies that are going to be reporting pre-market on Tuesday, watch out how we play. And again, just to see, do we stay above this 301 or do we keep breaking out to all-time highs? That's going to be very interesting. And then watch now for earnings and continuation. Watch the mornings. Watch how the earnings companies report, specifically AT&T. This is what I was saying here. AT&T is one that could potentially have a big move, and I forgot which ones there are, but even Tuesday now, too, this is going to lead to the rest of the watch list. These are two stocks I want to be watching, UNH and Anthem, but watch healthcare. You're going to get Pfizer. You're going to get Merck on Tuesday morning, and just how we've already seen some of these companies, even Biogen, and some of these drug releases, what's happening in healthcare is very, very interesting. So keep your eye out for that, because again, they were kind of chilling at the bottom. For them to make this move during pre-earnings and with all this right around the corner, I think it could be very, very telling, especially if the market is going to start going up and start to say, hey, we've gotten a lot of this bad stuff out the way, and the market truly starts digesting things as positive. Watch healthcare, because these are the laggers. And it even leads into the next point here, because watch growth stocks and momentum, because those haven't been doing too good still despite all this. And now watch, again, healthcare, because that's probably where we're going to see the shift. Take a look. Over the last year, you haven't seen any growth, or really you've seen a lot of pain out of the healthcare stocks. I could even throw up the IBB. I got rid of my AT&T chart there, but you can see it really hasn't been a good year. So if growth and momentum really starts to die out a little bit, like we've kind of saw even in the last month or two, this is the primary cap target, I think, that is going to go right back up. It's going to be healthcare and drugs. Drugs. Should we invest in weed? No, don't buy ACB. Okay, calm yourself. You got earnings and way better better potentials. Okay, but so watch out for those. Those are going to be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye for that, and that's the keys for tomorrow. So let us get into the plays. As far as everything goes, I have 2 potential plays on Google, and again, hopefully you guys watch that video this week. I know a lot of you have asked about standard deviation. How do I use it? How do we take a look at what we want? And there's a few plays. This play isn't, this one was one, not the one up there. I don't like this play. Ignore that one. But I'll show you the one here. I want to look for it. It's a 13-12, 13-15 debit spread. And why? That would be right here. And you can see this would be a debit spread. It'd go for 60 cents. We have to see what we get filled at. And even Tastyworks has this expected move where they pretty much add both of the expected moves, just like the straddle price. But I'm factoring in my one-sided direction. I'm factoring in a $30 move, or that's what it's expecting. I have to see tomorrow. I think they could break out, but you could even see here, that move is it's literally within 1 standard deviation, probably by the second bar. 1 standard deviation would actually be a little bit higher, and that's where the 13.30 or 13.32 comes. So depending on these plays, this one might be 60 cents and these one might be 30 cents. Those could be good. I don't know how big we're going to have to go on it, but I do want to see the type of move it has tomorrow. But I think Google does have the potential to move big in 2 senses. One, it has been expected to do a lot because it surprised last earnings and they had good guidance, which brought it up last earnings, so it could keep going up. But the key is, on this play, this is the same issue we've been talking about. Direction's one thing. I am going to be looking at puts as well, just because this has been the key of all of the earnings so far. The market makers aren't pricing in too big of a move. So if we could get a play within 1 standard deviation for like $40, the price of 2 standard deviations, that's what I talked about in the video, this could be a good play. So I'm going to be watching that tomorrow, and I'm going to set up some level of play. I might go both ways, or we could take notes from Amazon. Even though we ended up losing fully on Amazon because it bounced back, if I really am confident that we're going to move more than the $30 expected, we might be able to play both sides pretty decent and see what we could do. But I'm going to play with that. So come on live, make sure you guys are there, but watch Google, watch that in general, and then Microsoft, I'm going to have to wait to the pricing. But that's pretty much it for specific potential plays. As far as what else I'm going to be watching, I am going to watch Amazon. Our plays are still in play, even though they're most likely down. If anything, we might see it come down by losing the Jedi contract, but keep an eye out for that. Watch Apple now, too. I think Apple might even start to cool off this week. You have so many other reporting things. You might see one more update here, and then it's kind of probably going to stall out there coming into the earnings as the other companies start to move. But watch them. Watch NXPI. They're going to have an earnings report. They're a chip maker, and that even makes me want to watch NVIDIA, Intel, and all those. Remember, those are earnings continuations from last week. Then Shopify actually reports on Tuesday morning. So if you did want to play Shopify, we're going to have to do that tomorrow after close. I will be looking at that. We'll see. Again, that's one of those growth names. And if, again, you guys make sure you watch that video we posted on the weekend, because you can see what is expected and what is not. You could see their standard deviation is gigantic. So it's expecting like a $30 move or even $60 total, but you could see one standard deviation, almost 40, $50. That's over 10%. Is within 1 standard deviation. So that is very, very likely impossible to occur. But I mean, only time will tell. So I'm going to watch out for those. Keep that in mind. And then, like we said, watch Anthem, UNH, Biogen, or the biotechs. You could even watch Biogen too to see if that slips up. But all those are going to be important. So I like those. Then Microsoft, that's probably going to be my favorite play tomorrow in the morning. Depending on how it plays, I might just grab something right off the bat, because I think a lot of people are going to go crazy for it. The only downside is if it gaps up in the morning. Hopefully it gaps up pre-market and then sells off in the morning, and we'll see. But this one's going to be a tough one to play. We have to be able to see the premium and how it prices in, but I like it overall. Then don't forget about Tesla, another earnings continuation. This is the god of all short squeezes occurring. If you guys put this up on the yearly chart, they're making moves, and this is what we've been talking about here. Even if we start to see it, this second half of the market, or if there is going to be any bullishness, we'll see it through rotations. Some people are just going to dump what's already been working for the last few years because the growth isn't there, and some of the stuff that's been beaten down has a really good upside. So watch out for Tesla, though. I'm going to see there. Maybe we might utilize spreads or even a strangle or straddle. We'll see kind of when it loses steam or if it doesn't, but watch out for that potential short squeeze that's already occurring. Then watch McDonald's. They've got killed, absolutely killed. This is creating an opportunity. I might want to even add some of this to the long-term portfolio, but they're selling off big here. This is going to start setting an opportunity. It might base in between that $200 level, 190 to 200. It stayed there for a while, but if it does really start to come down here to 190 to like 180, that'll be crazy. But I might even want to start selling premium or selling puts on there, and we'll see what we could do. Then watch HD. They're up, and they haven't gave up yet, but this is what we've talked about. Again, you have to watch either HD is going to bounce, and then that'll stop McDonald's, and you'll start to see McDonald's come up. But if people start selling off McDonald's, HD might be next on that list. So keep that up there and watch them. Then watch Boeing. again, even from last week, I like where they're at. I had to roll over that play, but I still think Boeing is going to be a wild ride this week just because it's that big Dow component. It can move up and down with the market, do its thing here, but where it's sitting at right here, very, very important, and I could tell that it has some moves in there. It's either going to have to get back up to some of that equilibrium level, or it's going to start coming down and people aren't going to like the bad earnings that they already had. So watch those. And then lastly, TLT. I might set up a big TLT this play coming into the Fed. It's starting to really, really look like last time. Thank God times came up and time went by. This is killed a lot of the premium. You could see kind of how it's holding, and this range is just a lot wider than the days before that. It does stuff like this, but usually the range is more tighter, and then it starts to shoot up. So this is a big range, and a big move could probably come out of there. It all depends what we start to see and could forecast out of the Fed this week. Then finally, watch the banks. I got JP Morgan up here as well as Bank of America. They killed it last week. Surprisingly, that 130-150 play we had hit. So if the banks keep coming up, again, you can start to see they've not only rotated, or you've seen a lot of money coming there, they're breaking out of their highs, and they're getting close to some of the yearly highs. So they've held up, and they've been one of the better industries here, even in 2019, believe it or not. So they're definitely a leader. So watch how those play out. Then lastly, watch Roku. Again, this is kind of the whole growth momentum type thing and where it's at. I mean, it could get interesting. I think it has a lot of dollar moves. I think something to speculate on if you want to. It's just harder to time and actually harder to hit, but that's going to have big moves. And then lastly, Beyond, they got the lockup expiring this week, but for that, you're getting the earnings. I think the earnings are tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting because the earnings are going to make the stock move, and then you're going to get the follow-up and the reaction there out of the lockup, so I can't wait to see what happens. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Stay hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Hope you guys are ready in this. Time to focus on what you learned from last week. Brush off anything. Be smart with it. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. And we got that geopolitics, the Fed, and everything just right around the corner here. So it's going to be excited. Keep your head in the game. The coach loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in the morning. Let's go.